Coach, good afternoon. Ernesto de Valdez, TUDN. How useful have these last few weeks been so that the team can recover physically as you prepare for this final? Good afternoon. Yes, after that marathon, 12 days, 6 matches, it came in very useful to be able to have some good rest, to charge up, recover, and work on a few things that with so many matches we hadn't been able to do. Just refresh on certain concepts. So again, it's come in handy given the number of matches we played in order to regain the physical aspect because our footballers, well, that streak had taken a toll on them. So yes, these days were very beneficial. Good afternoon, Coach Almada. Josue Villa, over here. In vivo, live for Claro Sports W. This is the sixth final for Pachuca in this tournament. They've never lost, and they've yet to be beaten in this tournament this year. Now, with this statistic, does that add any pressure to your crew, or does that motivate you further to know that this is a tournament that they're used to winning? Well, it's nothing different than when you wake up early and try to feed your family and make a living. This is a sport, it's a game, and it should be enjoyed. And well, this club has achieved the statistics that it's achieved throughout its history, and the competition's format has evolved and become harder. But if we're here, like I told the players, there's a lot of merit to that because of what they've done, what they've demonstrated on the pitch, because it's been a long journey. Still, the most important match is ahead. And if we want to win, then tomorrow we have to perform well and try to win. We share the same ambition that Columbus has. So, well, it's a great motivation to be able to play at this final of the tournament. That's just the icing on the cake, to be able to qualify for the World Cup, first time in history. And of course, that would be very important for the institution, for the directors, the players, and for us as coaching staff. For the entire Pachuca family, it's a monumental step to be able to qualify. Hi, Coach. TV Azteca Hidalgo. What do you think the main factors will be so that Pachuca can come out the winner tomorrow? We've seen images of the Columbus team preparing with oxygen masks because of the altitude, the rest or lack of for the team. What do you think will be that determining factor that'll lead to Pachuca's victory? It's just a matter of playing better than your opponent. There are other factors, effectiveness, but when you play better, that opens a whole realm of possibilities that make you feel hopeful. And again, if you are effective enough, then you'll achieve the outcome you want, which is to win. So again, we'll try to demonstrate that tomorrow, and I'm very hopeful for that. I think the guys have trained very well, so we're well prepared for tomorrow's final, while knowing and respecting the opponent we have to face. An MLS champ, they have a great coach, a great crew, great footballers. They've done many good things in this competition as well. So, well, we'll hope to be up to the task. I think we are. It'll be a very important match for both teams. Alberto Perez, Animo Deportes. Hi, Coach. What does it mean for your career when it comes to tomorrow's match? You were talking about Columbus and that rivalry between here and there, MLS and Mexican football. Is there any pressure for you? Because except for Saprissa and the Sounders, because uh, Mexican teams tend to win, do you feel pressure because people still think that one league is superior to the other? It's just a matter of a bit of football's folklore. We're familiar with Columbus. This is a team that has had great achievements. They have great footballers. They eliminated Tigres, Monterrey, which is no small feat in this competition. They too have had a long journey to make it to the final. And so, beyond our confidence, they deserve our respect. That said, we feel optimistic, but they do have our respect. And whatever we want to do, we'll have to demonstrate it tomorrow on the pitch. So I think it'll be a final full of passion with two great teams that'll both be fighting for the win. And any coach, any player, the thought of playing the first World Cup in history with a set venue and a set number of teams, of course, that's very important. We do have many competitions, Libertadores, South America, to win in this kind of tournament. That would be great for the career of any athlete. Hi, Coach. What's your opinion? What would it mean to you to win this CONCACAF Champions? Well, like I said before, it's very important for the institution, for the players, for the coaching staff, for the directors, and of course for our fans. This is an international title that comes with a plus, qualifying for the World Cup. And with this format that's that we have now, with opponents that have much greater hierarchy than in previous editions, then of course it's significant to be able to win, and it's important for every member of Pachuca. Mr. Armada, how are you? Eduardo Leal, TUDN Radio. Good afternoon. Coach, in 20 seconds, please describe the locker room 20 seconds before going out on the pitch. What do you tell your guys? Just refresh certain situations, scenarios, maybe give them something motivational. In this kind of a match, that's something we use. They're in the moment. Perhaps it's not that necessary, but we just convey confidence in what they're doing. Like I said before, this is the culmination of a long journey. And if we're here, then that's because, of course, there is merit to the things they've done. We have one more step to go. And so we just have to be there in the game tomorrow. And motivation, that's definitely going to be a part in any scenario of the match. Axel Armenta, medio de lo Pachuca. Hi, Coach. What does it how does it feel to play in this first final with CONCACAF and to represent not only Pachuca, but all of Mexico? Well, again, there's a lot of motivation there, a great deal of responsibility, a lot of confidence in what we're doing. This doesn't take away from what I said before. We do respect the hierarchy of our opponent and all the good things they've accomplished. But without a doubt, it's responsibility more than enjoying the wins we've had so far. So we just have to win this competition. Alvaro Cruz, Caliente TV. Hi, Coach. 6 hours, 15 minutes before Real Madrid was playing, there was a match playing for Champions League at the same time. Now, you said that it would be an honor to be able to win this championship, to be able to go to the Club World Cup. How are you feeling? How's the level of nervousness or the level of pride, knowing that if you win, then you may end up playing against the Real Madrid, the king of Europe, if you will? Well, right now I feel very much at ease. I've been in the football world for many years. I was a professional footballer. I'm a professional coach, and these are situations that we've been through many times in international matches. Now, of course, you have to try to uh, curb your uh, enthusiasm and the anxiety, especially in the locker room, but there's not much you can do. Once the game is going, just try to correct certain things or emphasize other things. But I'm sure that the players, as the minutes go by, they leave that nervousness aside because they're the ones there in the game. And we can't get ahead of ourselves. We have to focus on our first goal, which is to beat Columbus. They have the same goal against us. And then we'll think about what comes next if we get there. Because, again, you demonstrate everything on the pitch. So, our only goal, the only focus and mindset that we should have right now is based on our next opponent, Columbus, and not think past that because so far we've yet to achieve anything else. Juan Carlos Ramos for PN Sports. Good afternoon, Coach. I know your experience in finals is infallible. Here, you beat Toluca in the league some 2 years ago. You've worked with Santos. You've taken them to the finals. So, what's the mental factor that you bring that'll help you qualify to the club's World Cup, especially considering the new format at FIFA with 32 teams in 2025? How will that entire mental process work? More than pitch, more than football, because oftentimes a final means everything. We have been working on that. Again, trying to fight that anxiety that perhaps plagues the younger footballers more. And we use the older players to offer them as much support as possible, as much confidence as possible. We've tried to cover every aspect, not only on the pitch. We've tried to not leave any base uncovered because any one of them could make the difference in a match. But they do seem very much at ease, very confident in their training, in their work. And again, we are aware that this is a hard opponent. They have great players. And I know I'm repeating myself, but they've achieved significant things in this competition. And in the MLS, they're a champ. So there are many factors to take into account. One is the mental aspect. We've tried to work on that, and we'll try to continue working on that until the start of the match. How are you feeling, considering that it's been 2 or 3 weeks of rest now? Is your preparation different because of it? Do you feel more relaxed? Because you had been playing many matches. How do you feel now? Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Well, I think that when you're not competing, that can also take a toll. But we've been preparing very well. The training has been intense to be able to make up for the lack of competition. So I think that's helped us really think things through to be able to take a break from that intense streak that we had had. So having that rest is a plus. Hi, Nelson. What would it mean for you to be in your first match in this CONCACAF competition? And what are your goals with this club, Pachuca? Hi. Well, I'm honestly very excited, very happy As a player, when you get to a club, all you want is to make history. And today, I have the chance to play in a great final. It's not just any final, it's an international final. It'll lead to a Club World Cup, and I'm very pleased. Hopefully, God willing, we'll win. And my goals are always clear, just like with any footballer. I want to make history, win championships, and leave a great legacy behind in this institution. Hi, Nelson. Question. You joined the club 6 months ago, and like you just said, it's your first international final. But how would you describe your next 6 months, a year, 2 years in Pachuca, and what do you see coming next in the face of such an important international match? Well, like I said, I'm very happy to be in this final, and I'm very motivated. I'm with a great club. It's a very good crew. I've been welcomed, and this helps me grow and prosper. So from here to 6 months, I don't know what might happen with my career. As a player, you always dream of doing more and more, and you hope to be able to go to Europe. That's my dream, to be able to go to Europe. But right now, I'm focused on the final, and we'll see what lies ahead. Jose Villa, Claro Sports. Hi, Nelson. After the elimination with Águilas América, which I'm sure took a toll on the team's spirits, you have the chance now to close the season by winning a title. As a team, how have you viewed this opportunity to bring the season to a close with a title and the chance to be at the Club World Cup? Does that make you feel like you're closer to achieving your dream of going to Europe? Yes, I think that the elimination was very hard for the team, and we're still feeling it. But after that match, after being eliminated, we turned the page. We needed to focus on the final to be able to raise that trophy. That's what we want. So it was a hard blow, but it doesn't mean we're going to throw in the towel. It's quite the contrary. It's brought us closer together and stronger to be able to face this final tomorrow. And of course, the Club World Cup can make you much more visible. But tomorrow's final, everyone will be seeing that. So you never know who might be seeing, and you want to give your best. Hi, Ernesto de Valdez, TUDN. The Columbus video of them training with oxygen masks, that went viral. When you came to Pachuca, did you feel you were affected by the altitude? Do you think that'll be a factor tomorrow? Yes, I did see the video, and altitude, it's always going to make it hard for you as a player if you're not used to it. So it will be a factor for both teams because, yes, we'll suffer much less than they will because they may not be used to playing at such an altitude. And as for the video, well, it's not the same to be playing or to be practicing with a mask on than to be playing on the pitch. Hi, Nelson. What is your motivation to play in the first Club World Cup of this kind? Well, as a player, you always want to be in the most important tournaments, like champions in Europe and Libertadores in the Americas. And here at CONCACAF, it would be the first to qualify to the Club World Cup. So it'll be very exciting. And I really am very happy to be able to enjoy this great final that may open the doors for many players. So it's just that excitement and a willingness to go out and give my best tomorrow. Hi, Nelson. The two-time champion of Mexican football. You've overcome them. What's been the hardest thing about getting to where you are now? Well, the path is always difficult. And when the path is difficult, it's also rewarding. When something comes easy, easy come, easy go. So we have had to face difficult opponents. They brought many things against us, and we were able to overcome them. And also, so much competition, so many consecutive matches. I think that was also a key factor that led us to wanting to make it to this great final. Hi, Nelson. How are the young ones doing? Because we're waiting for EDC, for you. You too are a young player. Salomon, Sanchez. How are the young ones doing? Because they've been a significant contribution for this club as they approach such an important match. Now, they're very happy too. They know they have our full trust. And include myself in the group of young players. I don't have much of a history yet. And we do have the support of the older ones, the coaching staff. So they have been working very well. And the starting player isn't always the determining factor in a match, the one that makes a difference for the win. So we prepare as best as we can, and there's a very healthy rivalry in the group, and that's helped us grow a lot. The older ones, the more experienced ones, and the younger ones. We're always willing to listen, and I think that's what's allowed us to get here. Hi, Nelson. I was listening to your story in TUDN about the mining, the goals you set, the dreams you achieved, the opportunities that you had. And now you're 90 minutes away from a title that will allow you to be champion now and perhaps next year face off against Real Madrid, Manchester City on a global scale. I'm sure that causes some level of anxiety, excitement. How do you feel? Yes, the desire is always there. It's only human to feel anxious when you think of such a beautiful moment for your career. And as a person, you can picture yourself doing many things. So you take a look back and think of the things you've been through, and you think of where you are today. It produces a great deal of satisfaction for me to be able to think back and remember that boy that dreamt of being a footballer, working as a miner, and he never gave up on his dream. And right now, he's a great footballer, a great human being, and just a few hours away from playing one of the most important finals. The question, what are the main objectives that you've achieved in your career, and what are still yet to achieve as part of this club? Well, my goals are always short term. When I got to Pachuca, I said I wanted to be league champion. Fortunately, that happened in 2022. I said I wanted to change the photo in the offices in the stadium. I achieved that too. And the objective that we had was uh, winning the Champions Cup in CONCACAF and move on to the Club World Cup. And that's what happened this year. I think it was since January when we started the preseason. We said this was in our sights. And here we are now, just before a final, just hours from playing, to be able to carry out and achieve a dream that would be to make it to the Club World Cup. Hi, Gustavo. What a week you've had personally. Unfortunately, perhaps with bad news from last weekend. And also, there was talk of some kind of renewal. And now you're on the verge of achieving a dream Club World Cup. Now, as a leader of this team, how do you approach such an important event after months of preparation? Hi. Yes, like you said, this was a bit of an unusual week for me. Good and bad things. But I'll hold on to the good ones. One good thing is that, well, when I was attacked this week, I was just days from the finals. So I'll stick to that. I'll stick to my level of concentration, kind of thing that we need for this level of match. And with our sights ahead, to be able to raise this trophy would be wonderful for this crew of young ones because We have 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds on this team. I think the average age here is 24. And with Salomon is 34 and I'm 38. Otherwise, the average would be much lower. For them to be able to play in this final, it's thanks to the effort that's been demonstrated. In the previous tournament, we underwent a transition phase because from that championship in 2022, many powerhouses have left, and the club has invested in young people to carry out that transition, knowing that they had to learn. And now those young people, these young guys have learned, they are professionals, and we're here at this final. And our dream is to win. Now that you talk about the young players, I'm sure your experience for this final is different from that of the young ones. How do you convey the seriousness, the importance of this? Are you sure they're ready for such an important match? And also, what do you think of the forwards that have caught so much attention there at Columbus Crew? Yes, like you said, the young players. I always think it's important in a team to have leaders. We have that in this team. Salomon, Celso Ortiz, that covers the forward and the center. Chiqui is very experienced. And for me, I'm on the defensive side. So to convey the confidence that the more experienced players can convey, they know. They've been at finals because they played in that final against Tigres, and it was a great match. We weren't able to clinch it, but you always learn from a loss. That's true. It's true because it gives them confidence, it gives them experience, it teaches them how to handle the nervousness during a final. Because I have experience, I've been playing for 20 years, but I still get nervous. And that's the greatest thing that can happen to you as a player, to feel nervous. The important thing is to know how to channel that, to know what to do with it. That's what we try to convey to the younger ones. Now, are they ready? Definitely. I see that they're ready. Like I said, we've underwent a transition phase. We've undergone a transition phase, and they've learned a great deal. And in this previous tournament, they've become professionals. We played against America, and we were eliminated. But we didn't lose. We were eliminated. We tied both matches at home and away. And we've also eliminated them from CONCACAF champions. So these guys have learned a great deal. They're like sponges. I think that's the right word to describe them. They're sponges absorbing everything. And as long as we can convey good experience, they'll continue to grow much more. And what was your other question? Right. Yes, great forwards. They've they've been in Europe. They're very experienced. They can create a goal scoring opportunity and execute at any moment. So we as defenders, we try to remain fully focused at all times. And if any teammate needs coverage, you have to do it. If you have to talk and yell, and if you have to uh, mess with each other, you have to. You have to push each other. Because on the pitch, it's 11 versus 11. And the one that does the best job, the one who converts, because at the end of the day, it's football, and the one who scores the most wins. That has to be us, the one who scores the most to win. Hi, Gustavo. So again, we see the cycle. Pachuca, champion. Everybody wants Pachuca's players. You hear offers. Right now, how's the locker room doing after so many rumors regarding the team? Are you ready for this end? It's something typical with this team. So they're champions, and then everybody goes on to different teams. I don't know if we're thinking about a close or a goodbye to certain teammates. The team is focused on this final. We've been working 3 long weeks. We've been working hard to be at the right level for this competition, to be in it, focused. That's how the coaching staff has viewed it. So have we. And like I said, as far as a goodbye, if it comes later, and if it's to be better, great. And if tomorrow I have to face off against a teammate, I'll give him a hug. But we're not thinking about a goodbye. Instead, we're thinking about raising this wonderful cup that's right next to me so that we can enjoy it together with all our families, uh, our wives, kids, parents. I think that would be the most beautiful thing for all of us. Now we'll hear from those on Zoom. Andrew Jones, please ask your question.
Yes. Hello, Gustavo. Thank you very much. Gustavo, just want to ask you your thoughts of working with Solomon Rondon and what it's been like with him over this past year and how the club has supported you this week after that incident for you. Thankfully, you're okay.
Hola, buenas tardes, ¿cómo estás?
Hey, good afternoon. How are you?
Trabajar con Salomón,
Well, as far as working with Salomon,
profesional. La única palabra
a
que uso para
professional.
Salomón es
That's my
profesional.
only word to describe
100%
him.
de pie,
100%
a cabeza.
professional, head to toe.
A mí con Salomón nos conocemos de hace rato
And
porque
Salomon and I,
hemos
we've known each other for a long
competido
time
contra él.
because
Jugaba en
we've
Málaga en su momento y yo jugaba
competed against each other. He was playing with Malaga, and I was playing with Levante in
tanto
Spain,
sufrirlo.
and I've had to suffer
Y
against
me
him.
acuerdo de ese partido que hemos perdido
I remember that
1 a
match when
0
we lost 1 to
en campo de
0.
ellos. Y de
We were the
ahí
visiting
hemos
team,
perdido,
and after
hemos tenido que
that,
seguir compitiendo en contra.
we've competed
Y me lo encuentro acá,
against
me lo encuentro
each
acá en
other once
Pachuca
again, and we
y
met
ya
up
pasaron
here in
tantos
Pachuca
años
once again after so many years.
y sigue siendo ese mismo jugador
And he's still
con
that
esa
player
gana, con esa ganas
with that
de querer
drive,
triunfar,
that
esa
desire
sed
to
de
win,
gloria que
that
tanto se
hunger
nombra
for
y
glory
también
that's so
nos
often
sienta muy bien
mentioned.
porque
And it's great
la
for me
competitividad
too,
creo
because I think that
que tiene
hunger
un
for
jugador
glory,
competitivo desde que
that's
comienza
something
hasta que
any
termina
player can have from
y
the
de ese
very
me convencí
start to the
mucho.
end. And that's very
Ese me
useful when it
convenció
comes to
bastante
teaching the
entonces
younger players.
en el competir día a día. Creo que
It helps
no
them
quiere
with their
perder ni a las canicas y
competitiveness.
eso en un jugador es
You
buenísimo.
ultimately
Me
never even
buenísimo
want to lose, not
y
even at a game
vuelve
of
de vuelta
marbles.
las ganas de poder
And
seguir
that's
compitiendo
wonderful
contra
for a player
cualquiera de los
because
chicos
it fuels your drive to compete.
que
It teaches the
ansian por
young
seguir compitiendo.
players that you can compete
Pero
at
bueno,
any
nada,
age.
como dije
And
recién,
that's
es un
just it.
profesional de pie a cabeza.
Like I said, he's a
Después también te
professional
quería
head to
comentar
toe. And you had asked me about something
de
else,
cómo me había apoyado el club
about how the
con el
club had
tema del
supported
lanzamiento.
me with
La
the
verdad que el
attack I
club,
suffered. Well,
desde
the
el primer minuto
club,
que llamé y se
from the
enteraron
very
de
first
la
minute,
noticia, me
when
apoyaron
they learned of the
infinito.
news, they supported me
Y ayer
constantly.
tuvimos
And
una reunión con nuestro
yesterday, we held
presidente,
a meeting with
Jesús
our
Jesús
chair,
Martínez,
Jesus Martinez,
y tuvo un gesto, la verdad,
and he
muy
did
tierno,
something very nice,
que la verdad no me lo esperaba.
something I didn't
Creo que
expect.
no lo sabe nadie hasta ahora,
I don't think
solamente los
anybody
jugadores.
knows this, only the
Pero es
players
bueno
do.
remarcar siempre estos
But
detalles.
it's good to mention these
Jesús
things.
compró un reloj igual al que le
Jesus
habían
purchased a watch
robado
just like the watch that had been stolen from me,
y le puso las insignias que tenía atrás,
and
que ese
he
era un
put
reloj
the
que me
same
había regalado
insignia that the other
el
one
Celta en
had,
su momento, que era
one that had
temporada
been
2013
gifted to
2014,
me by the
y
Celta
Jesús tuvo ese detalle de
2013
permitirme
2014,
y
and he
ponerle
purchased the
el
same
grabador
watch
lo mismo que
and
tenía
he
atrás.
engraved
Y
the
la verdad que
same thing that the other one
coincidimos
had.
en eso
Very
y se lo
few
dije cuando me lo
chairmen
entregó,
would do that.
le dije la verdad
I
que era un
told him when he
gesto
gave it to me, I
de
told
humildad
him
increíble,
that this
son cosas que a un
really
jugador
showed his humanity. It was
lo llenan
unbelievable. It's
y
something that really
lo
moves
hacen en
you
todo
as a
sentido.
player. It moves
Y
you in every
ojalá
way.
mañana dejar la última gota de sudor
And of
por esta
course,
camiseta
tomorrow I'll shed
y
my
con
very
esta
last
ilusión
drop of sweat for
creo que
this
vamos a hacer
jersey, for this team,
mucho
for
más
this
grande de lo que es.
institution to make it even greater than it already is. Orlando Castellan, your question. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Gustavo. How hard will tomorrow's match be for you? After so many weeks of not playing football, but maybe the rest has been helpful. Still, how hard will it be to face off against Columbus tomorrow, who have a certain cadence now after these matches? How hard will that match be tomorrow? Even though you'll be at home, but Columbus may be the favorite because they eliminated Tigres and Monterrey in this competition.
Sí, tan complicado no lo veo
Well, I
porque
don't think
en el sentido de la
it's
preparación digo, porque ellos vienen
complicated or hard when it
de
comes to
competir
preparation
en su liga,
because they
pero como dije hace un rato, nuestra
were just
prioridad,
competing in their
nosotros
league. But
tuvimos tres
like I
semanas que hemos
just said a moment
trabajado
ago,
como
for
una
three
pretemporada.
weeks, we
No
worked
hemos
as if it were
tenido, por decir de
preseason.
nosotros, un fin de semana
We've
ni
played matches among ourselves on one weekend first, and then the second weekend we played a match with Morelia, and we took it very seriously. And we've achieved very good results. And I think the tours we've had have been good. Our intensity has been good. We've prepared. I don't think it's complicated. I think we are well prepared. And this is a team that always competes, wherever it is, against whoever. And on the pitch, where we feel the best is at home. And they'll have to adapt to our home, to the altitude, to the turf, the ball. We know every inch of our pitch, and we'll do this with great professionalism, great intensity from the very first minute to achieve the right outcome. Thank you, Gustavo, for being here at this press conference.
How are you been feeling about playing your first final with Pachuca? Are you feeling excited, nervous? Tell me.
Well, first of all the players know that it's not common, it's not normal to reach a final. So we're all of us really proud and happy to come out in this stage. It was a long journey to reach the final. It wasn't easy, but we made it, and we were very happy and excited. And the most beautiful part of this journey starts tomorrow. So I think we're all hungry. We're all excited and happy to play our final here in Pachuca.
Oli, dice buenas tardes, Gustavo Hernández para Suma TV. Me gustaría saber qué significa para
Good
ti.
afternoon. What would it mean for you to win CONCACAF champions?
Of course, it's a really big achievement. It's the biggest prize in this part of the world. So when you get the opportunity to be part of this big achievement of this team, it will be something that you will remember your whole life. It's a big joy that you will give the people here of Pachuca. It's a big joy that you will have on the pitch together with your teammates. You were traveling the whole season to reach nice moments, to win a lot of games, and if you have the chance to win the final, that's a memory for life.
Hi, Usama. Ernesto de Valdez from 2DN. How do you feel? Have you been feeling these past 3 weeks after all the activity you have through the year? And how's the team physically to play tomorrow?
Yes, before these 3 weeks, we had a lot of games. I think we had in 1 month, we had around 10 games. So every 3 days, every 3 days we were having a game. So it was we suffered a lot actually in this month. So I think the first week after that we had some time to recover from that physically, mentally. We were out of the Liguilla, so you have to adapt to the situation because you're disappointed. But after that, you start over and you try to get in a good shape again. There comes a moment where you have to analyze the game of the opponent, and you try to speak together about the plan, how you want to win this game and how you want to get this trophy. So I think we had some good preparation for this final, and that's what needed for such an important game.
Pablo Neria para Spot Soccer, en tu amplia carrera y en tu vasta
In
experiencia.
your long career and with all your experience, how would you rate this season with so many lessons learned and also considering the final that you're about to play?
Well, I'm really thankful first of all as a person that I am playing now in Mexico. It's a big adventure for me and for my family, and we are really happy to be here and enjoying it every day. Apart from that, as an athlete, you always want to win games. You want to perform well. You want to be happy on the game, seeing the people who are coming to the stadium, leaving happy the stadium because you've performed well together. And I think my first 7 months was a really good so far. The first months we were not that strong as a team. Second half of the season, we won a lot of games. We played really attractive, and I am really happy to be part of that.
Hi, Osama. Here, Oscar Ivan Davila from TV Azteca Hidalgo. I wanted to ask you, you are about to play a final, an international final. When you came here last year, would you expect that? And many people say, different teams even say you are the best winger in the league. Do you consider yourself the best winger in the league?
Well, when I arrived here, I knew that in the second half of the season there will be the champions, CONCACAF champions, but it was far away, so I was not really focused on it. As a soccer player, you always the most important game is the next game, so you always try to live like that. Second half of the season, we started the CONCACAF champions, and I really felt this special feeling of these international games, and I really enjoyed to play that till this moment. So I'm really happy to reach far in such a big competition. I also enjoyed in Europe to play Champions League and Europa League, so I know it's always special to play in leagues like that. And second thing, yeah, I always try to give 100% on the pitch. I want to win games. I want to have joy on the pitch with my teammates, and that's really important for me and for all the players on the pitch and for the fans, of course.
Hi, Osama. Álvaro Cruz, Caliente TV. There are a lot of rumors about you if you stay in Pachuca or leave Pachuca. Do you like to stay here in Pachuca another tournament? And if you win the Champions Cup, go to the World Cup with Tuzos?
As a soccer player, you sign somewhere. In this case, I signed with Pachuca for 2 years, and I was when I signed at the moment, the intention was to play 2 years, and that's the intention that all the players have wherever they sign. Same for me, and as a soccer player, you know that moments that you don't perform well, there might be a chance that you have to leave the club because you're not performing well. Same, the opposite is when you perform well, you know that there might be a chance that you can leave the club. So I think in this team, included the staff, we had a lot of players and staff members who we performed really well and who might be interesting for the teams. So in football, you never know what's going to happen. I'm happy in Pachuca. I like to play for this beautiful club. It's an academy club. I love to work with young players who are hungry every day. There's a big pressure that we have to win every game. That's what I like. I'm happy here. But you never know what can happen.
Again, start with your name, the name of your outlet. Gustavo Hernandez, Suma TV. Eric, would you say that the most pressure is on Pachuca to win? I don't know if we have the most pressure, but we know it'll be a very important match for us. So I think we're focused, and I think we have to make sure that the team makes sure that our wait time counts. Eduardo Leal, TUDN Radio. Now, national team, I don't know, but as far as national team, the Stars and Stripes have been able to beat us out. But now when it comes to clubs, do you think they've overcome us? Well, I don't know if that's a way to be defined. I don't think that's what we're thinking about right now. We have to go out and play our match, show who we are, and the only ones who might say that are people, the press, I don't know. But that's not something we're thinking about. Marco Patiño, Agencia Press. Just a little over a year ago, Pachuca suffered a defeat that they didn't expect, and they were eliminated in their first series. How did that inspire and motivate you? For how long have you had your sights set on being champions? Because it's a tournament, right? Five finals, and you've won all five. Well, it was a very hard blow when that happened, but Pachuca always knows how to overcome situations. I think that's what's important here. My teammates always try to see the bright side. And like you said, last time was unexpected, and I think we've talked about it as a team that we couldn't allow that again this time, and now we're here. One final question for Eric. Eric, in your case, Osama's case, everyone's talking about you. Their team's interested in you. How do you make sure that that doesn't distract you from such an important match? And what would you tell fans that are worried about your future? No, right now it's very hard for something to move me. Any news right now, they don't move me. I don't pay any attention to that. I'm focused on tomorrow's match. And then, well, after that, we'll consider and listen to what people say. Still, there are things that don't depend on me. So you can tell people to rest easy. I've said this from the very start. My dream is to go to Europe. What does it mean for you to be about to play at this international final with Club Pachuca after your career in football? Good afternoon. For me, it's an honor and a source of pride to represent this institution. Tomorrow will be yet another match, but it is a final, so we have to go out to win. To me, it would be yet another title, of course, in another country. I've been able to win titles in my team in Venezuela, in River, in Europe, and hopefully tomorrow we'll win again. Solomon, given your experience, everything you've contributed to Pachuca in the regular leagues tournament, you were the lead scorer, and Tuzos have a very young base of players. With everything you can contribute and share with the guys, of all of that, what do you highlight the most? Where do you put most importance as you approach this final? Well, what I emphasize the most with them is the desire to listen, something very few players have. And I should say that it's a virtue that our young players have. Me, as a more experienced player, that makes me feel proud because I'm able to approach them and give them advice, something that they can use in the near future. And I see that they value that. The advice I might give them for tomorrow is that this is a unique match. It's a final. You have to play it as such. After tomorrow, there is no tomorrow. It's tomorrow, and that's it. It's the last match in this semester. And my assessment of it is very positive because we've played in Liga MX in the play-in, and we competed in Champions Cup. So I'm very proud of my teams, of the institution, of the coaching staff. And, well, tomorrow we'll give our 100%. Salomon, what would it mean for you and for your career to play in the club's World Cup in this new format? It would be a dream for me. I used to watch those club World Cups. I still do. I was able to see a compatriot of mine that was a Alejandro Guerra, who was a champion. He scored. And for me to score, it would be like another tournament where I could compete. And, and it makes me very hopeful. But it all depends on tomorrow. Tomorrow, we have to focus on that. There's no tomorrow after tomorrow, like I said. It's do or die. And we know that the other team is coming to give their all too. But we are aware that in order to be able to win, we have to do 110%. There's no other way about it. Salomon, you've been with the team for approximately 6 months. You're about to play in your first international final, lead goal scorer, and I'm sure you'll be facing off against Mexico in Copa America pretty soon. But that's another story. How do you view this final, considering the experience you should convey to the young players? What will be the factor that will swing things in favor of Pachuca? Will it be being the home team, the good preparation, the altitude, or what? The factor will be us. That's the only thing that'll make a difference. We just have to go out and not change our dynamism, our dynamics, and our rebelliousness. We have to be forceful, have character, knowing that you might get confused in a match as important as a final. Still, it's going to be a beautiful match. I know all my teammates are ready. Like I said, we have to give 110% tomorrow. Thank you, Solomon, for attending this press conference. Conference is now over. Thank you.